Hello everyone, this is Aryan Thakkar, your coach and mentor, and welcome back to my YouTube channel on Aryan Tutorials, where in this video we are going to take up your ISC Class 12's English, that is Act 4, Scene 2 for Class 12. Now, before I start, I want to make you a request that if you haven't watched my previous videos on Macbeth, then I would request you that you kindly go and check out my channel, where in my channel we cover up subjects like economics, commerce, and English. And as far as Macbeth is concerned, I have already made 7 videos on that covering up till Act 4, Scene 1. So you can go and check out the playlist or the course section where you'll get to see your Macbeth for ISC Class 12 in total. 7 videos are there. Kindly go check that out and then come back to Act 4, Scene 2 for Macbeth. So chalo, without wasting any more time, let's get started. Now, to begin with, let me first tell you a little bit about the scene. Act 4, Scene 2 is primarily revolved around Lady Macduff, her son, and Macduff, who is not present in this particular scene. Now, this scene stands in a sharp contrast to the earlier one, where we had seen Macbeth meeting the three weird sisters to know what is in store of his fortune. Now, Shakespeare deliberately has made this scene in sharp contrast to the previous one to show Macbeth's descent into absolute tyranny, into absolute violence, and through his act of violence, he wants to bring out that stark contrast of how Macbeth can stoop down to any level to secure his position, a total collapse of the moral order and a brutal killing of innocence. That is why the scene in particular has been made by Shakespeare. Okay? So this scene takes us down to more of a domesticated atmosphere, which is in sharp contrast to the earlier setting which had taken place in the pit of Acheron amidst disturbed weather of thunder and lightning. While over here it's more of a homely and a little comforting sort of an atmosphere, and suddenly that air of comfort changes into discomfort, where Lady Macduff accuses her husband of having left Lady Macduff and her son behind unsecured. She's extremely displeased with that, and she charges upon her son in front of Ross, who is present there, and he tries to mellow her down, followed by Macbeth's hired assassins who enter the scene to take down on the Macduff's family. That is what the scene in particular is about. So let's get started. Take care. Act 4, Scene 2 takes place in 5, where Macduff is the Thane of Fife inside Macduff's castle. Macduff is not present in this particular scene. This scene revolves around Lady Macduff and Macduff's son. Enter Lady Macduff, her son, and Ross. Lady Macduff. What had he done to make him fly the land? What did he do that made him leave Scotland? What had he done? क्या किया था उसने ऐसा कि उसे स्कॉटलैंड छोड़ के जाना पड़ा? She is extremely dissatisfied and displeased with her husband's actions. Ross, you must have patience, madam. Please maintain your calm. Please have some faith in your husband. Have patience. Whatever he has gone for, it's for a noble cause. So do not be so quick to judge your husband. Lady Macduff, he had none. No, he did not have patience. When he left us behind, me and his children behind, did he have patience in doing so? Was he thoughtful enough in having done his, in having left his castle and children and his family unprotected? No, he did not. So when he had none, his flight was madness. It was insane of him. He was mad to have flung from Scotland, leaving us unprotected. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors. Even though when we actually are not traitors, when our actions do not make us look traitors, at times, sometimes our fear, out of our impulse, out of our fear, we take such steps which make us look like traitors, even though in reality or in practice, even if we are not traitors. Take care. So when our actions do not make us look traitors, our fears the decisions or the actions which are taken in the fit of impulse or in the fit of fears do make us look like traitors. Traitors yani dhokebaz. Ross, you know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear. You are yet oblivious, ignorant of this fact whether whatever he did, whatever Macduff has done, he has left Scotland without any prior information to you. You don't know whether it was out of his fear or it was out of some noble cause. So don't be so quick to judge him. Take care. Wisdom, huh? She's being sarcastic over here and she's accusing her husband of having been a traitor, dhokebaz. Wisdom to leave his wife, to leave his babes, children, and his mansion, that is his castle, and his title, all his ranks that he has earned in a place from whence himself does fly. So leaving everything behind, his family, his possessions, his rank, his honor, his children, everything leaving behind, he just left without any information. And you say it was wise of him to do that? Wisdom? My foot. That is what her tone is. He loves us not. He does not love us. She directly accuses Macduff of having no familial love for her, that is for Lady Macduff, and for her family, for her children. So he loves us not. He wants the natural touch. Now, over here, wants means is not wanting something. Over here, want means lacking. So she is saying that Macduff lacks the natural touch of a father. He lacks that familiar protective instinct of a father, that touch emotion of a father. So he wants the natural touch. He lacks the emotional touch of a father. And then Lady Macduff compares her husband, that is Macduff, with that of a poor Wren. Now, Wren kaun hai? Wren is a very little sort of a bird. And if you see the word over here, adjective has been used as diminutive. So, Wren is basically very feeble. Feeble means frail, bahut dubli patli, and very diminutive means fragile and weak. So, even the poorest in strength and might, like of a wren, a bird, a little bird, Wren, who is so fragile and weak, even she would try to protect her family from the bunch of owls. Basically, owls, they try to prey upon those little birds. So, in order to protect the diminutive, that is a very fragile bird like Wren, would also take any steps to protect her nest and her children from the owl, from the attacks of owl. That is what he's saying. So even for the poor Wren, the most diminutive, that is fragile of birds, will fight her young ones in her nest against the owl. So Lady Macduff is comparing Macduff with that of the poor Wren, smallest bird. Take care. But look at my husband, even smallest of the bird, when she can take steps to protect her family. What did my husband do? He is a thane of 5, and he is so mighty. He has so much of strength. He is basically a soldier, and in spite of having so much of strength, might, and everything, still he just left his family unprotected behind. So what kind of strength are we talking about? That is what she accuses her husband of in front of Ross. So she just directly concludes by saying that all is fear and nothing is love. Whatever Macduff, my husband, has done, he has done it out of a sheer fear, his terror. He is afraid of the current political chaos that is there in Scotland, and he has done nothing out of his love. Take care. As little is the wisdom where the flight so runs against reason. So basically, when running away is an easier option than sitting and justifying and taking actions, all that is just a little of a wisdom. So that is not a wise thing to do. So when the flight, when running away is in contrast to the reason, to all the reasons. So you cannot justify running away from a particular situation by giving out reasons. If you have to do so, then there is just a little wisdom in doing that. That is what she says, a very powerful line. Little is the wisdom when the flight means running away. So runs against means is in sharp contrast to all the reasons, to all the cause that you give. Take care. Ross, my dearest my cousin, I pray you, school yourself. Please control your emotion. Mellow yourself down. But for your husband, except for the fact that your husband, that is Macduff, he is noble, he is wise, he is judicious, and best knows the fits of the season. I dare not speak much further, But cruel are the times when we are traitors and do not know ourselves, when we hold rumour from what we fear, yet know not what we fear, but float upon a wild and violent sea, each way and move. I take my leave of you, shall not be long, but I'll be here again. So I pray you, my cousin, please control yourself, control your emotions, cool yourself, mellow yourself down. Because, but except for the fact that your husband is none other than noble, he's honest, he's wise, he has wisdom, he's judicious, he's just in his character, he will never treat anyone with discrimination. Take care, he's judicious and best knows, he well knows of what he is doing, he well knows, he's well aware about his actions. So he best knows the fits of the season of the current political unrest in Scotland, and therefore I dare not speak much further. I do not want to defend him any further. So even though Ross makes an attempt to defend Macduff by saying that he has escaped for a noble cause, for a better good, but then she is so matlab, there is a sense of betrayal among Lady Macduff. She is feeling so much betrayed by her husband's action that she is not ready to hear out anyone and control her emotions. And in that there is we can see that there is a lot of drama that's happening. So this particular scene is laced with drama, intense drama, where we are getting to see an outburst of emotions on the part of Lady Macduff and her family. Take care. So I would not like to speak any more further, but just know one thing, that cruel are the times. The current time, the present time of Scotland is not easy for all of us. It is cruel, it is bad. And when we are traitors and do not know ourselves, and when people will claim us with the title of being a traitor, धोखेबाज, कब लोग हमें धोखेबाज समझ ले, we ourselves won't be aware about of such time. ऐसा अभी अभी ऐसा समय चल रहा है कि कोई लोग हमें ही धोखेबाज बोल दो और हमें खुद ही ना पता हो कि क्यों हमें धोखेबाज बोला जा रहा है. ठीक है. When we hold rumor from what we fear, so even we believe incredible, unworthy, something which is not credible, something which is not authentic. So out of our fear, we might believe any rumor which is incredible, which is not supposed to be believed, and yet know not what we fear, and yet we won't be aware about what exactly are we afraid of. So out of our fear, we might believe every word that is spreading around, and we ourselves might not know what exactly are we fearing about. Okay? But during such a time, the condition of men or condition of human beings are such that we float upon a wild and violent sea. So basically, right now, the current political tension that is there in Macbeth's rule is such that the entire sea, the entire rule, that is the ocean of Scotland, the situation of Scotland is like a violent sea. It's like a high tidal movement where the characters, the residents of Scotland are afloat and they are being tossed here and there in the ocean, not knowing what exactly would be their destiny. Either they'll be able to survive and come out of the current political crisis, or they are going to just get sunk in that. ठीक है, वो लोग डूब जाएंगे उसी में under Macbeth's rule. So it is like right now the condition is like floating upon a wild and violent sea. So basically floating on an ocean which is full of storm and high tidal movement, where each way and move, where each movement tossing about, we are just being tossing about, which is leading to nowhere, no outcome or no circumstances or a destined circumstances as to what is going to happen. But let me just take my leave of you. Currently, I just leave goodbye to you for the moment, and I shall soon be back. मैं जल्दी वापस आ जाऊंगा. I'll be here again. Things at worst will cease. So there are only two things that are going to happen from now on amidst the given political tension. First thing first, either everything will just eventually come to an end. Okay? So first thing first, things are at worst will cease. So all the worst things which has started, either it will just stop, it will come to an end, or else climb upward. It will just get worse. It will just get escalate, or it will just improve from here to what they were before. My pretty cousin, blessing upon you. May God bless you. Let me just take your leave. And then the moment she sees that even Ross is leaving Lady Macduff and her family behind, she just, in a fit of her emotional outburst, she just shouts upon saying that, look at my son, fathered he is and yet fatherless. He has a father and yet he is without a father right now. Okay? So this is showing her deep rooted anguish her agony, her irritation with her husband's action. So fathered he is, and yet he is fatherless. And so much a fool should I stay here longer. Ross says that if I stay any longer, I'm just going to make a fool out of myself. So it would be my disgrace, and to your discomfort, I would just be adding more disgrace to myself, and I will just be adding more and more of discomfort to you. It will make you feel uncomfortable if I stay here any longer. My prolonged my prolonged stay will make you uncomfortable here. So let me just take a leave. I'll take my leave at once. And Ross exits. Lady Macduff. Sirrah, your father is dead. Now she's talking to her husband. There is basically an exchange of a witty conversation between the mother and son. And this has been done to lighten up the mood of the audience, because audience has, as an audience, when we would be witnessing the play, from the previous scene where Macbeth had shown his, very evil and dark sort of a personality, as viewers, as audience, it would have made the audience feel a little uncomfortable. And the purpose of adding this kind of a humorous conversation is to lighten up the mood of the play. Take it. So Lady Macduff, Sirrah, your father's dead. Sir, she's talking to her son, that your father's dead. And what will you do now? How will you live? How do you plan on living your life, leading your life? As birds do, mother, just like your birds do. Lady Macduff, what? With worms and flies, you'll feed on anything that you get? You'll feed on worms and flies with the leftovers? With what I get? So this shows that her son is not just witty, at the same time he is sort of a very contented kind of a person. Okay? He is satisfied with whatever means he have. Okay? He has, with whatever means he has. So with whatever I get, I mean, and so do they. So I mean, with whatever little bit I'll get, I'm going to make peace with that. And so do they, just like the birds do. So birds do not expect anything lavish or grand. With whatever they get, they just make peace with it. Then you are just a poor bird. Oh, a pitiful bird. Thou shouldest never fear the net, nor lime, and the pitfall, nor the gin. So you wouldn't know how to fear from the snares, snares, snares and traps of the hunters. So basically, you are still an inexperienced bird. You are still young to understand the violence which is there out in the world. The traps and snares, basically, those people who try to bring you down, you have no idea about. Okay? So you wouldn't know how to fear from the traps and the snares, that the pitfall nor the gin that is set out by the hunters. Son, why should I, mother? Why should I fear from hunters? Because poor birds, they are not set for. Basically, hunters do not go and hunt about for anyone who is pitiful, anyone who is poor. Okay? Pitiful birds are not trapped by them. And my father, and to be specific, my father is not dead, for all you're saying. No matter whatever you're saying, I know that my father is still alive. Okay? So very soon he's gonna come back. This shows that he's still expectant of this fact. He has a deep bond with Macduff, where he just resists his mother's word by saying that, no, my father is not dead, for the least that you are saying. And I know that, and I am going to make peace with whatever I get. Lady Macduff, yes, no, you have to agree. He is dead. How will you do without a father? What will you do for a father? Now, without a father, what are your plans? What will you do? Nay, how would you do for a husband? Acha, leave that thing aside. For once, you tell me, if my father is dead, what are you going to do without your husband? Okay? So what will you do for a husband, Lady Macduff? Well, I can buy them 20 at the market. If I want, I can just buy 20 husbands, 20 men at the market. Girls being typical girls. ठीक है? That मेरे पीछे लड़कों की line लगी हुई है. ठीक है? I can get 20. Oh, so basically you plan on trading men. So you will buy them in order to sell them. So you plan on trading with men, right? Lady Macbeth, see, look at the way you're speaking with all your wit, with all your humor. And yet I faith with wit enough for thee. But still, whatever you're saying, you're speaking like a matured person. You're sounding more mature than your age, but whatsoever it is, you are just a child. Whatever wit is coming out, it's coming out of a child's brain. Take care. So was my father a traitor, mother? Was he a traitor? Was my father a dhokebaz? That he was. Yes, indeed, he was a traitor. What is a traitor, mother? Well, one that swears and lies, one that make promises and breaks a promise. Okay, one that swears, makes an oath, and even breaks off that oath. Son, and be all traitors that do so, and all of them are traitors who does that. Like someone who makes a promise and breaks the promise, they are to be labeled as traitors, dhokebaz. Everyone that does so is a traitor. Whosoever does that is a traitor and must be hanged, must be sentenced to death. लटका देना चाहिए, फांसी पे चढ़ा देना चाहिए उन्हें. And must they all be hanged that swear and lie? And all those people who swear and lie should be sentenced to death, should be pronounced with death penalty on them. Everyone, each one of them. And who must hang them, mother? The honest men, my dear son. Then the liars and swearers are fools. Those people who lie and swears, they are fools, because there are liars and swearers enow to beat the honest men and hang up them. In other words, those people who are lying and swearing are fool, because there are enough liars, there are enough people who are traitorous, because in this world, now this little child is giving a reality check and a fact, is spilling the beans about the current world, which echoes in even in the modern contemporary world, that even if one person is honest enough, but there are so many liars in the world that they will force that person to drown his or her hands into corruption. So in other words, there are so many liars and swearers, they are in such outnumbers that they can beat honest men. So if honest men are to hang those people who swear and lie, who makes an oath and breaks that oath, still those liars are far more outnumbered than those honest men, and they are going to defeat those honest men. That is what he says. Lady Macduff, now God help thee, you poor monkey, but how wilt you do without a father? So look at the way, look at your brain, the way you're talking, laughing at what he is saying, with all his witty brain, with witty comments and remarks that he's making about traitors and honest men. But what will you do without a father? You tell me that. If he were dead, you would be weeping for him, you would be crying for him. If you would not, if you are not crying for my father, for that means it's a good sign. He is not dead. Take care. And I should quickly have a new father. So if my father would have been dead, you would be crying for him. And if you're not crying for him, then it's a good sign that very soon I'm going to get another father. Take care. So basically, you are going to get married to a new man. So he's making fun of his mother. Lady Macduff, poor prater, look at the way you speaking, you little chatterbox. How thou talkest. Look at the way you're talking. Enter a messenger. Now, in the concluding of the scene, a messenger comes to inform Lady Macduff that there are some assassins who are entering the scene in order to kill you and your entire family. Even though they are not acquainted, like Lady Macduff and the messenger, they are not acquainted to each other. Messenger knows Lady Macduff, but Lady Macduff does not know anything about this messenger, so they do not get time to share any further conversation. The messenger just comes, issues a warning, and leaves immediately. And then soon after, the murderers enter and they kill both Lady Macduff and her son. So enters a messenger saying, "Bless you, fair dame, fair lady. I am not to you known, so you do not know me. Though in your state of honor I am perfect, even though I know everything about you, like about your position, about your role in Fife and in this castle. I'm aware about everything about you and your entire family, but yet you do not know anything about me. I doubt, I want to issue a warning. I doubt that some danger does approach you nearly. There are some people, there is some danger which is at hand, which is approaching you soon. So if you will take a homely man's advice, if you were to take of someone who is a well-wisher to you, so I am no other than a well-wisher to you, and you, if you were to take my advice, be not found here, do not stay here any longer, and with your little ones hence means just go away from here. Take care. To fright you thus, methinks I am too savage. I know in trying to make you afraid, or in my blunt words, I'm speaking way too outlandishly, way too bluntly. I know I am sounding a little savage, I'm sounding a too harsh, too blunt, but if you do not take my blunt words right now to do worse, to do even much worse than this, fell cruelty. Fell cruelty means cruelty which is going to be fell means disastrous. ठीक है, that will be grave. ठीक है, that will be grave, that will be disastrous, monstrous. Fell cruelty which is too nigh your person, which is too close to your person, will do much worse upon you. So the cruelty which is approaching towards you and your family, it will do much worse if you do not take my advice, if you do not take my savage advice, my blunt advice. So may heaven preserve you, may God be by on your side. I dare abide no longer, I do not stay, I dare do not stay any longer from here, let me just leave. Exit. Enter, exit. And Lady Macduff, now she's like, what am I supposed to do? Kya karu main? What's going on? My husband has left me, there is someone, there is some potential attack which has been planned upon us. Where am I supposed to go? So whither should I fly? Where should I fly? Where should I run? I have done no harm. I haven't done any wrong. Oh, but yeah, I remember now that I am in this earthly world. I am in the world of mortals, where often doing the right thing is punished and doing the wrong thing is praised. So I haven't done, even though I haven't done any harm, but I remember that I am in this mortal world, earthly world, where to do harm, where to do any wrongdoings is often laudable, is often praised. But to do good sometimes is accounted dangerous folly. It's considered as a foolish mistake if you do good to anyone. Well then, alas, do I put up that womanly defense? Then where should I take my womanly defense? I have basically spirit of a woman. I have the might and strength of a woman. So even though I cannot fight in the battles or fight physically with anyone, where should I take my womanly defense, my womanly spirit to any place? To say I have done no harm, to shout about, go and speak about that I haven't done any harm. How do I profess myself? So while she was debating with all this, enter the murderers. What are these faces? Who are these men? First murderer, where is your husband? Where is your husband? Lady Macduff. I hope in no place so unsanctified where such as thou mayest find him. I hope my husband is in a place which is not so disgraceful, which is not so disgraceful. इतना भत्तर जगह तो नहीं होगा कि जहां तुम जैसे लोग उसे जाके खोज सके. ठीक है, that men like you may be able to find him. He's in no place which is disgraceful enough for people like you to go and find him. First murderer, do you know that he's a traitor? Your husband is a dhokebaz. And immediately Macduff's son, he hears out that whatsoever he's speaking about my father, it's a lie. So being close to his father, he tries to defend his father by shouting upon the murderer, saying that no, you are lying, he's not a traitor, he's not a dhokebaz. You lies, you shag-haired villain, you long-eared head. Basically, maybe murderers would be having long hair, so that is why he's calling them, Macduff's son is calling them out as shag-haired, long-haired villain. Okay, you ugly-looking villain. And then he's like, what, you egg, you little munchkin, and just stabs him. Okay, so what, you egg, you little, stabbing him, young fry of treachery, you basically young son. Okay, young fry means young little one of treachery, you son of a traitor, what you're speaking. And then he stabs Macduff's son and he dies. He has killed me, mother, run away, I pray you. Mother, I'm dead, please run away from here. And Macduff's son dies. Exit Lady Macduff crying, murder, exhume murderers, following her. So basically murderers follow Lady Macduff, and even though it is not said whether they managed to kill Lady Macduff or not, but they definitely would have caught on her and killed her as well. That gets confirmed later in the scene. So with this, we come to an end of Act 4, Scene 2. And if you are liking my explanation, then please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and share this YouTube channel with your friends, because we come out with quality explanation, line by line, word by word. So till then, keep smiling, keep studying. I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye.